So we are reading chapter 5 from Bhagavad Gita. The chapter is called Karma Yoga or Action in Krishna Consciousness. So I know I reviewed it last time. We recapped it a lot actually in detail, but I see that we have some new devotees joining today. So just so that nobody is lost in the class, let's do a quick summary again. I think everybody will benefit from a quick recap anyways. So I'll just go. We have covered 15 verses of this chapter. There are 29 total. So we are halfway there, and last verses are actually shorter and quicker. So I think we could finish this chapter in next maybe 2 to 3 times, maybe 3 times. Um, so what is this chapter saying? This chapter opened with Arjuna's question. Arjun asked Krishna, and this is on your screen, so you can read simultaneously, or if you have a book, please read from your book. Please write, highlight, mark, write your realizations, your questions, anything, any comments, anything comes to your mind. Please keep writing in your journal or in your notebook or on Bhagavad Gita. So the first thing Arjun asked Krishna was that he got confused and he said, "What do you think is better? Is it working with renunciation that is better, or is it renouncing the work that is better? Should I give up work, or should I work with the feeling of sacrifice, feeling of devotion, feeling of tyag? So is giving up work better, or is working with renunciation better? What is better, beneficial of the two?" So Krishna replies very quickly. Krishna does not have any confusion about that. Krishna does not give him the runaround. He gives a very clear answer. He says that both of them are good. Okay, giving up work or working with renunciation, working for in devotion, both are good. Both can lead to liberation, but working with renunciation is better than renunciation of work. Okay, working with the feeling of renunciation, working with the feeling of tyag, that is better than tyag of work or renunciation of work. So working with renunciation is definitely better. Then he starts saying, and remember, this is a continuation. So Krishna has already told us in chapter 3 that for ordinary people like us, like all of us here, or just maximum people in this world, it is not recommended to give up work. Okay. And Krishna gave many, many reasons why we should be engaged in working. It is not good to give up work at our level because our mind and senses need to be engaged in some kind of work. Okay. But the work should not be done just for sense gratification. Work should not be done just for some fruitive benefits. Work should not be done just for money or for fame or name or for followers or for a standing in the community, for status, for reputation. Work is done for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. Work is done with the feeling of devotion, with the feeling of gratitude or service towards the Supreme Lord. Okay. So only that work can be called yoga or karma yoga. Otherwise, if you just work to enjoy the results, if you just make money and then you just spend it on yourself or your family, or at the most, you may do a little bit of, some community or charity work with it, but that's it. So that kind of work is just karma. It's just the way of karmi people, ordinary people. That's not the way of a yogi. If you want to become yogi, that means you are connect. Yoga means to connect with the divine. The word yoga means yunjite iti yoga. The one the activity that connects you with the divine is called yoga. So karma yoga means when you connect with me through your work. So not every work is yoga. Your mindset, the intention with which you work matters. If your intention, your mindset is to please me with your work, is for my satisfaction, then that work is qualified to called karma yoga. Other work that you do for just your own enjoyments, your own personal agenda, your own personal sense gratification or personal aggrandizement, that kind of work just binds you. It causes entanglement. It gives you reactions, positive or negative reactions. The goal of life is to become free from bondage, free from reaction. So work with spirit of renunciation, and such a person will be free from bondage and becomes completely liberated. So for next several verses, Krishna tells us how to work with the spirit of renunciation. It is not easy, right? It is not easy to invoke Krishna in your daily life when you're working to do it for his pleasure. It's not easy. So, how can we work with renunciation? Krishna tells us all that in this chapter. He gives us the benefit of such a work or such karma yoga also. Okay. So, Krishna says, very clearly, Krishna says that merely renouncing the work, okay, is not helpful. Just renouncing the work, renunciation only actually causes dukkha. Dukkham aptum ayogata. Those who are ayogata, those that are not in yoga, ayogata, okay, they will get dukkha. People that are not connected to me. It is better that you become yog yukto. So, yog yukta word keeps coming in this chapter because Krishna keeps saying that you should become yog yukto, meaning you should become engaged in my service. You should be yukt means absorbed or engaged. So you should be yog yukt. You should be absorbed or engaged, constantly attached to divine consciousness or to yoga, yog yukto. When you become yog yukto, na chirena adigachati. Chirena means long time, but na chirena means very quickly. Okay. So very quickly, Adi Gachati means you will get me. You will get the supreme, you will get the supreme destination or supreme person without any delay. Achirena, nurturena, without any wait. Very quickly, you will get me if you are engaged in devotional service or if you're Yog Yukta. Otherwise, just renouncing work but not connecting to Supreme is very difficult. It's not meant for ordinary people. Okay, just taking sannyas from work, just leaving everything, that is not recommended. So this is a very important verse actually. Then seventh verse is also very important. Again, Krishna talks about the benefits of a yog yukta person. That such people who are absorbed in me, that are yog yukta, they're very learned people. Okay, they're very intelligent, very smart people. They're very smart because they know the art of working in this world. Not everybody knows how to work. So they are working in such a way that they do not get entangled. And Krishna gives example of lotus leaf. Just like lives in the muddy water but does not get muddy itself. Lotus leaf has that quality. Krishna gives this analogy that such yog yukt people are very intelligent actually. They're very smart people. That is why it is said Krishna Bhakta Hai Bada Chatur. Krishna Bhakta are actually very, very smart people. They know the art of living in this world. They know how to live in this world without getting contaminated, without getting entangled by this world. So live like a lotus leaf or Padma Patra, live like a lotus flower who lives in a muddy water, but its leaf has that waxy coating on it that the muddy water just rolls off it. So it is never contaminated by the mud of that muddy water. So similarly, work in this world, we are not saying to become idle. We are not telling Arjun to run away from this battle, fight this battle, but fight it in a way that you do not get entangled by the reactions. You do not get caught up in the reactions. You do not get caught up in the fruits or the results that come as part of your duty. As in the course of your duty, things will happen, but you do not get caught up by them. Okay, do work in such a way. That is the art of working. So they are learned people, very very smart, very intelligent, and they are pure. They become pure. No reactions can touch them, positive or negative. So they are not entangled, and they become dear to everyone, and everyone is very dear to them, right? Because they're not working in a self-centered way. They work in a very selfless way actually. So I was contemplating on this point recently, that people that have knowledge of the real self are actually able to become selfless. So if you have the knowledge of real self, you understand that I'm part and parcel of Krishna, that I'm a spiritual, sentient living entity, that I'm not this body. When you are in tune with this understanding, with your actual identity, with your true identity as a soul and not as the body, then you become very selfless actually. And when you work in that selfless way, keeping Krishna in centered, not self conscious, but Krishna conscious, not egocentric, but Krishna centric, then actually you become very dear to others and others become very dear to you. So those people are able to do the greatest good for everyone. And such a person is never entangled. So Krishna is basically teaching us that how becoming karma yogi or yog yukt person is so beneficial. It helps everyone. It helps you. You are not entangled. You become learned. You are pure. You stay free from the contamination like a lotus leaf. And then Krishna says that such a person knows that he's aloof from this body. He's not this body, right? So he uses the various faculties of the body, like the intelligence, the mind, various resources, like his senses, everything given to him only for the purpose of purification. So he uses everything, the whole body, for the purpose of purification, not for his own enjoyment, not just for his sense gratification, but for purpose of purification. So such a person is using this body, this mind, this intelligence, these senses, various skills, various talents, his time, his energy, his emotions, his attention in such a way that they gradually purify him and not contaminate or entangle him. So this is a steadily devoted soul, and such a person achieves unadulterated peace, or Naishtiki Shanti, Krishna says. Such a person is very peaceful. He's not anxious, right? Because he knows he's not the cause of these activities. He knows that the body is he's just using this body as a instrument in service of Krishna. So whatever result comes, I'm not the bhokta. I'm not the enjoyer. Krishna is the enjoyer. Everything I'm doing is done for the service of Krishna. So whatever result Krishna gives is not mine to enjoy or suffer. It's so he becomes completely peaceful. So he's not very attached to, oh, I worked so much and I still did not get this promotion, or somebody else who worked half the time that I did got the promotion, or somebody has this car which I do not have, or all these results, all this money, all this fan following or fame that somebody else may have and I do not have. That kind of competition, that kind of criticism, that kind of complaining, those anxieties, those fears, those lamentations, they just fall away from such a person because he's just working in service. So in this way, Nashtiki Shanti, or unadulterated peace, he gets. Then Krishna talks about Swabhav. So basically he's saying that such a learned person, such a yog yukt person who understands his true position, who understands that he is the soul, not this body, understands that this body has a Swabhav. This body is being controlled by the three modes or the three gunas of this Prakriti. Three modes of this material nature are controlling it, right? We discussed this in detail last class, that there are three chains or three ropes controlling the body in this material world. Those are Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Satoguna. So the hierarchy is Satoguna, which is mode of goodness, Rajoguna, which is mode of passion, and Tamoguna, which is mode of ignorance or mode of darkness. These three chains control us, and through our life, different chains control us. Sorry, different chains control us throughout the day and through different phases of our life, right? So such a person understands that I have been given a swabhav, some qualities, some propensities, a temperament, right? um, because I have acquired this body. So this body comes inherently with a swabhav, with some gunas, with some qualities, and because of that swabhav, the body is acting. Soul is neither causing any work to be done, neither working nor causing any work to be done. It's just this body that has acquired a swabhav, which is working. And the soul is supposed to be the master of the city of nine gates. So Krishna is comparing this body to a city of nine gates. And what are those nine gates? The nine gates are the various orifices or various holes, various sense organs of our body through which we perceive this world. So the nine gates are two ears, two eyes, two nostrils, one mouth, one organ of evacuation, two organs of evacuation, and one genitalia. Like that, we have nine organs or nine sense organs, nine orifices, nine randhara through which we perceive this world. The knowledge acquiring senses, karmendriyas. So the soul is supposed to be the master of the city of nine gates. And it has become, and we discussed how the soul is just helplessly acting according to the swabhav given to this body. Soul is supposed to be the master. It should control what the body does, what the mind thinks, what the intelligence performs, But actually, the soul has become very much trapped in this body and helplessly doing things that the body wants to do. So, soul is supposed to be aloof. It is neither causing work to be done, neither working. Soul is supposed to be in control. It's supposed to be the master. And the last verse that we discussed, so Krishna said, learned person understands the position of soul in this body, and he also understands my position that I am the Supreme Lord, and I also do not induce soul to act or assume their activity. So I'm not responsible for anyone's sinful or pious activities. And here we discuss the concept of free will, that every soul has a free will within which they have some desires within which they perform certain activities, and Supreme Lord does not interfere with the free will of a jiva. Every soul has a minute independence which it can exercise through this body. It can use this body to fulfill those desires. And Supreme Lord does not interfere with those desires or with those activities that soul performs through this body. So Supreme Lord is not responsible. Whatever reactions we get, good or bad, we should be accountable for those completely ourselves. We are the ones responsible for getting those reactions. This is where we stopped. So we have to start from 16. But before I go any further, of course, this chapter is extremely deeply philosophical. So if you have so there may be many questions. I can slowly try to answer them through the course of our reading. It may be difficult to answer them all together, but any burning questions coming to mind, please ask.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, 3.1 and 5.1, what are the differences? That Arjun is asking the question, he is asking which is better, right? He was confused in 3.1. He's saying that renunciation and buddhi yoga. And what is the difference between 5.1, please, if you can explain? Thank you.
Mataji, my understanding is, and I would have to read that again. My understanding is that it's the same confusion that he had before. They were the Before Krishna was talking about Gyan Yoga in second chapter. Towards the end, Krishna was talking about a sober person, right, who's very detached, who's very sthit pragya, who's fixed in intelligence. So since Krishna was talking about intelligence, Arjun was confused between Gyan Yoga and Karma Yoga. And it is a similar confusion even now, because Gyan Yoga means to give up work to become an ascetic, to become a renunciate or a sannyasi. And same confusion Arjun has again, because Krishna keeps coming back to the knowledge or to Gyan. The point is that knowledge is needed for us to become fixed even in Karma Yoga. And Krishna will talk about today, the verses that we are reading, Krishna will talk about knowledge again. Every time Krishna talks about Karma Yoga, he inevitably talks about knowledge also. Because it's not possible to just be engaged in working with renunciation without knowledge of self and knowledge of soul, knowledge of super soul, knowledge of Paramatma. Only a person who knows that they are the soul, they are servant of Krishna, and Krishna is our Supreme Lord, our Supreme Father, Supreme Master, only they will be able to perfectly practice Karma Yoga. So without Gyan, Karma Yoga is not possible. So Gyan has to be used in service of Karma Yoga. Knowledge has to be used in perfecting our Karma Yoga, in perfecting our service. But Arjun keeps getting confused that Krishna is saying only do Gyan Yoga. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, Mataji, I understand the interdependence. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Arjun often keeps getting confused that when Krishna starts talking about Gyan, he's saying give up knowledge, give up work and just focus on knowledge. The Krishna is saying for ordinary regular people, it is better to acquire knowledge simultaneously, become learned, and then you become fixed in Karma Yoga also. That's why, let me show you in this fifth chapter. Um, Here he also says that in verse 4 and 5, he says that Sankhya Yoga is not very different from Karma Yoga. Learned people understand that Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga are actually the same. Do you remember that? Here. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service as being different from analytical study or Sankhya Yoga. Those who are actually learned says that who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. Then again he says, one who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service. Therefore sees that analytical study and devotional service are on the same level, sees things as they are. So here also Krishna is basically saying the same thing, that Sankhya Yoga, or you can say Gyan Yoga, and Karma Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, they are interdependent, like you were saying. One is used in service of another. One is a little bit higher, especially at our level. Like Karma Yoga is considered better for us. Not that Gyan Yoga is in the ladder. You know that Gyan Yoga is higher, right? But for our position, Karma Yoga is better for us. It will lead to gradual purification, and leaving work and just becoming a renunciate is not recommended because our senses are uncontrolled, mind is uncontrolled. So it is better if we slowly cultivate Gyan or knowledge and not just give up the work. So gradually purify by cultivating knowledge. So this is the same confusion Arjun had before also. That's my understanding, Mataji, but I'll read and hear more about it to see if I can give you something different.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Anybody else has Nagarjun Prabhu? You want to share anything about that? Those who have recently done I have done Bhakti Shastri quite a while back. So I'm now, but this is the memory that I have about these two verses. It's a very common question that you have asked, but my understanding is that they are both the same. And he got confused again because every time Krishna talks about knowledge, which Krishna always does, he emphasizes upon knowledge. But he's not saying to just acquire knowledge. That is why we always say this uh, philosophy of Bhagavad Gita is not armchair philosophy. It is not just something you think about and just read about. It's something you practice in daily life, you apply in daily life. So when you go to your jobs, you apply it. You try that service attitude that is described in scriptures, you implement that. You try to very deliberately bring that service attitude in your daily life. And that effort, that struggle of trying to apply this knowledge by ordinary people like us will cause gradual purification and advancement. Realizations will come, reciprocations will come, mercy will come from Krishna. So Gyan becomes Vigyan. So Krishna wants us to practice this, become Yog Yukta. But it can be done more properly if we have the knowledge of why we are doing it. So if we know why we are doing something, our how becomes strong. That's why we have these classes. So we keep reinforcing to each other. We prepare ourselves for the week that I'm going to work tomorrow. I'm going to take care of, let's say, family members or society, or engaging in community, engaging with friends and other people. And how do I do that? If I have this knowledge, constantly reminding us that we are the servant of Krishna, we are soul, we are not this body. We have been given this swabhav by coming into this body, coming into this world. We have acquired this swabhav. So we implement this knowledge on a daily basis for rest of the week then. Um,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And to all the devotees, always share with one. Thank you. I think you explained it nicely. Yes, 3.1 is talking about, um, just after Buddhi Yoga was discussed, and then Krishna is saying that you have to, like, Arjuna is looking for an out from the war, from one way or the other. So he's grabbing onto whatever option he gets from Krishna, what is speaking. It's like us, right? We grab onto easier paths. So, so 3.1, Arjun is saying that if intelligence, if I can do Buddhi Yoga, then it means I don't need to fight this war, right? I can sit back, right? No, you have to. And then now it's from um, the thing that he's trying to achieve is one, that he is trying to say, I don't want to do devotional service, or I cannot do devotional service because right now devotional service means to do war, to fight. And he's asking, and just for our benefit, he's asking, okay, so what if I say this? What if I just do Buddhi Yoga? Is that fine? Or if I renounce work, again I won't have to fight. But now this is from the viewpoint of karma yoga, that if renouncing of work is okay, then I can do that. And then so he's trying different ways to look at things, to 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 cancel all the arguments that we may have. He's putting all the arguments in front of Krishna so that he can answer all of them for us. Hare Krishna.
I like how Nagarjuna Prabhu puts it. Mataji, let me draw your attention to something else. A third chapter, within a couple, when Krishna started speaking, so you were talking about 3.1, right? Arjuna asked that question, what is better, whether it is better to renounce action or work with renunciation? Look at what Krishna said. The first thing Krishna replied was same thing, that in this world there are two types of people. One is Gyan Yogena Sankhyanam, who practice Gyan Yog through the knowledge of Sankhya Yoga, or Karma Yogena Yoginam. This is what I was saying. That fifth chapter also he does follows the same. Krishna is having to like this is hardcore preaching for Arjun. Arjun keeps getting confused, and Krishna is giving the same line of argument again. And what is best is in third chapter he even gave example of Janak Maharaj. He said, "Look, Janak Maharaj, who's such a great devotee, he does not have any need to work. He could take up Gyan Yoga. He can become a renunciate. Yet he is ruling a kingdom, and he was working in my service." So, but here also you can see that Krishna opens with this same thing that he said in 5.4 and 5 also, that there is no difference between those who understand the proper utility of Gyan Yoga and Karma Yoga, right? Because Gyan Yoga or Sankhya Yoga tells you that you are part and parcel of Krishna. So with that knowledge, Karma Yogi should work. Does that make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. I was just thinking as to the repetition of the questions and the information, but I guess it's like the qualities of a good teacher. They reinforce their points again and again, so the student understands. So, yeah, I
It's
like
just
that.
amazing, isn't it? That Krishna
Yes,
is having
it
to, like,
is.
Arjun is having the same confusion again, and Krishna is following
Yeah.
the same line of reasoning. He even gave example in third chapter, but then he came back to the same point that, knowledge is needed. How can you follow this path working with renunciation? Who can work with renunciation unless they know why they are doing it, right? So Krishna keeps coming back to the point of buddhi, gyan, or knowledge or intelligence. And as soon as Krishna talks about knowledge, Arjun says, okay, then I'll give up everything. So, and Nagarjuna Prabhu's point very well taken that we just want to do our own thing. So, oftentimes, Mataji, if you have seen, and all of us, I have seen myself, when we present a query to our guru, our spiritual master, we are hoping that he will give the answer that we want. So we want something, we have certain desires. Like here, Arjun wants to get out of the war. So he's hoping one way or the other, Krishna will come to this conclusion that yes, get out of the war. Krishna is not letting up though. Krishna is a hardcore preacher. So he's saying, no, there is no way out of this war. So oftentimes we have our mind set on something and we hope that our guru will give us that instruction, even though that may not be good for us. So Arjun is also hoping he will get that instruction to get out of the war. Anyways,
Thank you
let's
so much, Hare Krishna.
let's start with 5.16. So I'll recite, please follow. ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् येषां नाशितमात्मना येषां नाशितम् आत्मना तेषाम् आदित्यवज्ञानम् तेषाम् आदित्यवज्ञानम् प्रकाशति तत्परम् प्रकाशति तत्परम्. Who wants to read this? Please read the translation. Sakshi Mataji, want to read?
Yes, Mataji. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which
Nations.
nations is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. Purport.
Let me show the Sanskrit very quick, Mataji. So
Yes.
remember the last verse where Krishna said that neither the soul has nothing to do with this body. Soul has no action to perform. But because of the swabhav acquired by the body, soul is helplessly working according to the demands of the body. Whatever demands are posed by the body, by the mind, whatever the urges of the senses are, we just give in to those urges and we start fulfilling those demands posed by the senses, mind, intelligence, and the body, etc. So then Krishna said, and I do not induce soul to act. They have their own free will. So then Krishna says, all this is basically, this comes through knowledge. Again, so now Krishna is again coming back to the point about knowledge. We need knowledge. One is enlightened with knowledge. So he says, Jnanena means with knowledge. So Jnanena means with knowledge or by knowledge. Tad ajnanam, that ignorance of the soul is destroyed. So the soul that is in bodily conception, that thinks I am the doer, that thinks I have all these things to do in this world, or the soul that thinks that the Lord is responsible for my happiness or suffering. So all that type of ignorance, nashitam atmana, that ignorance, tad means that ajnanam, that ignorance is destroyed by the knowledge. How? Just like Adityavat, vad means like sun. Like sun uh, destroys the darkness, Prakashati, and discloses or reveals. Prakashati means reveals, shows us, displays the real knowledge. The Tat Param means that Param, that supreme knowledge. So just like sun can reveal everything, similarly, this knowledge will destroy all the ignorance of the soul and reveal the real knowledge, the supreme knowledge to the soul. Yes, Mataji, please read.
Those who have forgotten Krishna must certainly be bewildered, but those who are in Krishna consciousness are not bewildered at all. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvam Jnana Plavena Jnana Niha Sarva Karmani and Nahi Jnanena Sadrasam. Knowledge is always highly esteemed. And what is that knowledge? Perfect knowledge is achieved when one surrenders unto Krishna, as is said in the 7th chapter, 19th verse. Bahunam Bahunam Jnanam.
Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate.
After passing through many births, when one perfect in knowledge surrenders unto Krishna, or when one attains Krishna consciousness, then everything is revealed to him as everything is revealed by the sun in the daytime. The living entity is bewildered in so many ways. For instance, when he un, unce- when he
Unceremoniously.
thinks himself God, he actually falls into the last snare of nescience. If a living entity were God, then how can he become bewildered by nescience? Does God become bewildered by nescience? If so, then nescience or Satan would be greater than God. Real knowledge can be obtained from a person who is in perfect Krishna consciousness. Therefore, one has to seek out such a bona fide spiritual master and under him learn what Krishna consciousness is. For Krishna consciousness will certainly drive away all nescience, as the sun drives away darkness. Even though a person may be in full knowledge that he is not this body but is transcendental to the body, he still may not be able to discriminate between the soul and the supersoul. However, he can know everything well if he cares to take shelter to the perfect, bona fide Krishna conscious spiritual master. One can know God and one's relationship with God only when one actually meets a representative of God. A representative of God never claims that he is God, although he is paid all the respect ordinarily paid to God because he has knowledge of God. One has to learn the distinction between God and the living entity. Lord Sri Krishna therefore stated in the second chapter 2.12 that every living being is individual and that the Lord also is individual. They were all individuals in the past, they are individuals at present, and they will continue to be individuals in the future, even after liberation. At night, we see everything as one in the darkness, but in the daytime, when the sun is up, we see everything in its real identity. Identity with individuality in spiritual life is real knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I hope everybody was reading as Mataji was reading and highlighting the key points. So I'll just share. I think the purport is very self-explanatory, but just a few points here. So remember that last verse, Krishna said that, let me show you. He said a couple key points there that I'm not the one who is responsible for your conditional existence, right? So, but if you come to me, so Krishna says aloof, as long as we are aloof from him, as long as we are ignorant of him, right? If we are engaged in bodily conception, we are engaged in this world, very busy enjoying with this body, with our activities, with our actions, enjoying the results. So Krishna does not interfere with the free will of a jiva. But as soon as jiva starts, they come in contact with Bhagavad Gita, they come in contact with devotees, they start understanding they're not this body, they start acquiring knowledge, and they start engaging in some services, they start hankering for purification, for detachment, for uh, disentangling themselves from this world, then Krishna also fulfills that desire as he deserves, right? So one person, a conditioned soul means somebody absorbed in this world. That person wants Krishna to not interfere. He wants to stay aloof from Krishna. So Krishna leaves him be. Do whatever you want. So he suffers or enjoys according to the laws of this world. But similarly, when somebody starts approaching Krishna, then Krishna also fulfills that desire as he deserves. When somebody starts coming towards Krishna, so Krishna starts fulfilling that desire also. He takes special care, right? Because this person is interested in establishing a relationship with him. So then Krishna encourages that desire in such a way that one will attain to him. So if we don't want a relationship with him, Krishna will stay separate also and not make a relationship, not make contact. But when we start making a relationship with him, that's Krishna's, according to Krishna's desire. Remember, Krishna wants us to come back to him. So then Krishna will encourage that desire. It is aligned with Krishna's desire, and Krishna fulfills that desire. In the end, Krishna says Prabhupada says in that verse that under the spell of ignorance, the living entity claims that the Lord is responsible for his conditional existence. But the Lord neither hates nor likes anyone, though he appears to. So you may think that Krishna is being favorable towards devotees. He's not being favorable, he's reciprocating. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamyaham. Krishna says, he said in last chapter that I reciprocate according to the jiva's desires. So a living entity cannot say that the Lord is responsible. He's not putting anybody's in additional suffering or additional happiness. Whatever anybody is getting or not getting is the result of their own activities, the result of their own desires, or how they use their free will, their minute independence. But this happens, then Krishna is now saying that this knowledge needs to be acquired by the jiva. So people that acquire this knowledge, it's like suddenly sun shines on everything and everything becomes very clear. The picture becomes very clear. All the delusion, all the darkness goes away. In darkness, everything appears same. Everything is like confluent merged together into this big black mass of things. Nothing is delineated, nothing is clear. You cannot appreciate the colors, the form, the shapes, nothing, the texture, everything appears all the same. But in when the sun comes out, that's the real knowledge where you can appreciate that how I am not this body. So you get identity of the real self. You understand that I'm not this body. I do not belong in this world. I am a sentient living entity. I am the jiva. I am part and parcel of Krishna. I am Satchidanand Swarup. I am a spiritual spark that is just trapped within this body and within this world. So you understand the identity of self. Then Prabhupada is saying also you understand that is not enough. It is not enough to just understand the identity of self. A lot of people just stop there. A lot of yogis also, a lot of spiritualists also just understand that they are not this body, right? They have to get out of this world. So they want salvation, they want moksha or liberation from this world. But that's where they stop their knowledge. But the real knowledge needs to go on to understand the identity of God also. So it's not just enough to understand who you are, but also understand where you come from, who you belong to, who was your father, who was your well-wisher, your caretaker, your ultimate destination. After leaving this world, where do you have to go? In yoga, who are you connecting to? Who is that person you're connecting to? All that is also, that information is needed. Okay. So it's not like you go on a vacation. It's not enough to know that I'm on this vacation. You also have to remember where I come from. So you can go back to your home. What was my profession there? What was my identity there? What was my job there? How did I come here? How should I go back there? What is the ticket to go back to my home? What were my relationships there? So it's not just enough to know that, okay, this is a resort, this is a prison, and I'm here for now, and I have to get out of here. But it's also important to know where do I have to go back to, once I get out of here. So identity of God is also important. And then Prabhupada is saying complete understanding of self also means not just that I'm not this body, but complete understanding of self is that I'm servant of Krishna, I am child of Krishna, I should be engaged in his service. And complete understanding of God is not that he's just light, he's just something you merge into, but complete understanding is that he's a person who wants to have loving, intimate, affectionate exchanges and relationships with you. So people will often stop at incomplete understanding of self and incomplete understanding of God. While we need complete understanding of self, complete understanding of God, and complete understanding of the process that connects the two. Also, then Prabhupada is saying in the end, we should understand individuality of each soul, that each soul is unique. Each soul has a unique spiritual desire, a desire in which they want to serve Krishna. They have a different mood. They associate with different forms of the Lord. They want to serve in a certain way, in a certain bhav, a certain form. So they are individual people. They're all on individual journeys. They each have their individual journey through this world, through various bodies. And understand that Krishna is also an individual, a person, except that he's supreme person, and we are very infinitesimal, very small anu, particles or sparks of that supreme person. So this is the complete understanding of identity of soul, of God, and of the individuality of each of those. That's the real knowledge. Of course, this is just touching the surface of the ocean. Let's go to the next one and things will keep becoming clear. So Krishna is stressing on getting the knowledge, because when you have the knowledge, then you can become yog yukta, you can engage in karma yoga better, and you understand your position as a servant while working, and you understand Krishna's position as master for whom you're working. Okay, 5.17. Tadbuddhayastadaatmanas
तद्बुद्धयस्तदात्मानः
तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणा
तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणा
गच्छन्ति अपुनरावृत्तिम्
गच्छन्ति
गच्छन्ति
पुनरावृत्तिम्
अवर्तिम्
ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषा
ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषा.
Can somebody read this?
Can I read?
Yes.
Translation. When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuse are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation.
Yeah. Let me just show Sanskrit quickly. So Krishna is saying that, so he's teaching us how to work with renunciation, right? How to become yog yukta or a perfect karma yogi. And we understood that that's not easy. We keep getting distracted in this world. So Krishna is saying acquire knowledge, okay? Then he's saying what, so you understand this, that what distracts us in this world? Our mind distracts us, our intelligence distracts us, our faith keeps getting deviated, right? And refuge means we keep taking shelter of the world, of the people around us. So our refuge, our shelter, where we, the things that we depend on, that we rely on, all those things keep deviating, keep changing for us. We do not stay fixed on Krishna. All these things keep distracting us. So he said, with knowledge, your buddhi, okay, your atma here refers to mind, your mind. Your nishtha means faith, and parayana. Parayana means who you depend on, like who's your shelter, who's your ultimate refuge. Like we say Narayan Parayana. So people that are very, like where your loyalty, actually Parayana also means loyalty, where your loyalty lies. Like uh, some, females are called, wives are called Pati Parayana, that they're very loyal to their Pati, or Patni Parayana, or Narayan Parayana, Vishnu Parayana. So where does your loyalty lie? Okay. Who is your allegiance, your um, faith lie on? Your nishtha, your buddhi, your mind. Okay, these things keep, they're fickle for us. They keep flickering from various things. They keep jumping from various things in this world. So, but once all those things get fixed, okay, then such a person gachanti apunar avritam. So he um, does not, apunar means again. Um, Avrita means covering. So he does not get covered again, meaning he gets liberated. Gachanti means gets or achieves. He does not get covered again. He does not get covered means he does not get into cycle of birth and death, or does not get covered by this body or this world again. Avritam refers to covering. So he gets, ultimately it means, Prabhupada is translating it to liberation. So such a person will not get covered again. He will not get covered by darkness, ignorance, by material covering, by matter. Okay, he will be in eternal spiritual state then. Gyan nirdhuta kalmasha, because that gyan will wash away his misgivings. Kalmasha means his confusions, his doubts, his misgivings, the misinformation of this world will get washed off. Like Prabhupada used to say, brainwash will wash your brain. So somebody blamed devotees that they are brainwashing people. So Prabhupada said, yes, of course, we are washing their brains. The brain is full of trash. We are washing it. So Krishna is also saying that this gyan will wash away the kalmash, or the misgivings, the misinformation, the misconceptions, the misperceptions, the doubts caused by this world. And he will not, gachanti apunar avritam, will not get covered again, will get liberated when their buddhi, mind, sorry, intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge gets fixed on me, on the Supreme. Yes, can you please read this purport?
Purport. The supreme transcendental truth is Lord Krishna. The whole Bhagavad Gita centers around the declaration that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the version of all Vedic literature. Par Tattva means
Paratatva.
Pratattva.
Paratatva.
Pratattva means supreme reality, who is understood by the knowers of the Supreme as Brahman, Par, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Bhagwan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the last word in the Absolute. There is nothing more than the Lord, that. The Lord says, Mat Pratram, Mat Pratram,
Matta partaram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya.
Mata Pratram Nanyat, Kinsit Asti Dhananjaya. Impersonal Brahman is also supported by Krishna.
Brahmano hi pratishtaham.
Brahmana hi pratishtham. Therefore, in all ways, Krishna is the supreme reality, one whose mind, intelligence, faith, and refuse are always in Krishna, or in other words, one who is fully in Krishna consciousness is undoubtedly washed clean of all the misgivings and is in perfect knowledge in everything concerning transcendence. A Krishna conscious person can thoroughly understand that there is a duality, simultaneous identity of the individuality. In Krishna, the, in Krishna, and equipped with such transcendental knowledge, one can make steady progress in the path of liberation. Haribol.
Report. Okay, so I think not much to share here actually. The main thing is that Krishna is saying, fix all these things in Supreme. Okay, so this is very important because this is basically saying maintain a very Krishna conscious lifestyle. That's why we read Bhagavad Gita. That's why we say Nityam Bhagavad Sevya, right? Every day read Srimad Bhagavatam. Every day eat Prasadam. Various spiritual paraphernalia that we have. Chant Harinam, chant a certain number of names of Krishna, or meet with devotees, or do Hari Kirtan, or various resources, spiritual resources that we have. We should try to engage more and more with them to keep our intelligence, mind, faith, and loyalty fixed in Supreme. And that is a Krishna conscious lifestyle. So, like one day, my mom was asking that, and this is our everybody's problem, but it's a very common, important question. So I'm sharing it here that why does our mind keep getting deviated in chanting, right? So the reason our mind keeps getting distracted in chanting is because the whole day we are staying distracted, right? We are engaging with the world a lot. So we are watching, let's say, TV or news and politics and newspapers and social media and on our phone and through our profession, through our profession, we're engaging with the world. So many people and so many family members that are not necessarily in spiritual divine consciousness. So the 99.9% of the time, like we are basically engaging with the world. And what that does is that constantly keeps us in worldly consciousness. So it's very difficult to keep our intelligence, mind, faith maintained in divine consciousness when we come to chant the names. We are still in those things. We are still in the world because that's what we were associating with the whole day. That's why devotees have a very different type of lifestyle. That's why on a routine basis they engage with Krishna conscious activities and paraphernalia and resources as much as possible periodically through the day, just like we have to eat through the day 3 4 times a day, right? And then you still snack in between. So just like we eat through the day to keep our energy good, similarly devotees have to keep their spiritual energy elevated through the day. So they need a dose, they need snacks of spiritual activities throughout the day so that they can keep their spiritual consciousness to the forefront at all times. Otherwise, when you need it, like during chanting or when some difficulty happens or when some provocation happens, when something happens, it's difficult to maintain that spiritual consciousness because we are engaging with the world, and so worldly consciousness is at forefront. So throughout the day, this is the lesson this is the important application point here, that we have to maintain a very strong diet of spiritual activities, starting with chanting of the holy names in the morning, maybe listening something, some kirtan or class, or reading something, or eating prasadam, deity worship, right? Offering obeisances to the deity, or a flower or incense to the Lord, maintaining spiritual consciousness one way or the other throughout the day in small portions, big portions, whatever your current position allows, your current situation allows, is recommended. So maintain a thorough diet of spiritual activities if possible, and then you can stay fixed. And then not only through the day that your chanting will improve, your spiritual activities, services will become more sincere, but overall your sincerity in Krishna consciousness, your seriousness towards establishing a relationship with Supreme, overall general spiritual well-being will improve. So within a few months, that's why people, you'll be able to see a difference in yourself, and other people will be able to perceive difference in you, that your emotions, your activities, your mindset, your consciousness, your dealings, your relationships, your everything basically transforms. Your heart ultimately transforms. But what is needed is a daily diet where we fix our intelligence, mind, faith, and loyalty in Krishna. And then you get cleansed. So it's like daily cleansing. And just like you take a bath, you brush your teeth twice a day. So you become cleansed of misgivings. Otherwise, there is a lot of misinformation in this world, and if we associate more and more with the misinformation of the world, uh, we do more of Trump katha or cricket katha or Bollywood katha or Hollywood katha or stock market katha or I don't know, think of various wars and various tragedies and various the political scenario. If we do katha of those things throughout the day, that's our diet of reading, hearing, and speaking. And then that becomes our second nature that comes to forefront when the time comes. So become cleansed of misgivings. Krishna also says somewhere else that becomes free from the dense forest of delusion. So there is a dense forest of delusion out there, as you can see. So you need to just stop consuming that as much as possible. And only to the extent that it helps you in your material life, consume those things, but maintain a strong diet of Krishna consciousness. Let's do this significant verse. This is the verse that we memorized last time, and then we'll stop. I think everybody has, many of you have memorized this verse. If not, please do. This is one of the 25 verses, so it will add to your database of verses. Very important. 5.18. So Krishna is further talking about what happens to such learned people, such intelligent people who are yukt, who are maintaining their intelligence, mind, and faith fixed in Krishna consciousness, how they become, how they acquire a spiritual vision. So let's see what their spiritual vision looks like. Please recite after me. Vidya Vinay Sampanne.
विद्या विनय संपन्ने
Brahmane Gavihastini.
ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि
शुनि चैवाश्वपाके च
शुनि
शुनि
चैव स्वपाके च
चैवाश्वपाके च पंडितः समदर्शिन
पंडितः
पंडितः
समदर्शिनः.
समदर्शिन. Let's recite it 3 times. We can all recite together. Let's do first 2 lines 3 times. Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini. Vidya
विद्या
Vinay
विनय संपन्ने
Sampanne
ब्राह्मणे
Brahmane
गविहस्तिनि
Gavihastini. Once more. Vidya
विद्या
Vinay
विनय संपन्ने
Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini. Once more. I'll hide this. Vidya
विद्या
Vinay
विनय
Sampanne
संपन्ने
ब्राह्मणे
ब्राह्मणे
गविहस्तिनि.
गविहस्तिनि.
Okay, just to show you the Sanskrit. Vidya, meaning those who are possessing Vidya, knowledge. Okay, remember we're talking about knowledge. Vinay, meaning humility. Remember that Vidya Dadati Vinyam. Those who are truly knowledgeable become humble. Okay, somebody was asking the other day how to get humility. So, humility comes from not only knowledge, actually, application of knowledge is what gives humility. Constantly failing, constantly struggling to apply this knowledge will bring a lot of humility. So, Vidya Vinay Sampanne. So, those that possess Vidya, meaning knowledge or Gyan, and Vinay, meaning application of this knowledge, which is humility or Vigyan. Okay. So, those that possess Vidya and Vinay, Sampanne means possessing, equipped with. Brahmane Gavi Hastini. They see Brahmane means Brahman, Gavi means cow, Hastini means elephant, Shuni means dog, Shwapake, even, Chaiva means certain, even. Shwapak means dog eater. So dog eater means people that eat anything without discrimination. They are all kinds of, not only just dogs, they're like chandals, basically, outcasts. They do not fit in the 4 social orders that we have. So they are below the 4 social orders that are divided by Krishna. They are in chandal caste or outcast. So very, very fallen people also. So somebody that possesses Vidya and Vinay sees Brahman, cow, elephant, dog, and a dog eater. Samadarshana with equal vision. Okay, Samadarshana. Such a person is Pandit. Such a person is a very learned. Pandit means he's a very learned person, very wise person who knows this wisdom. He is Samadarshi. Samadarshi means he sees them with equal vision. So again, let's do the first 2 lines. Vidya Vinay, everybody together. Vidya
विद्या
Vinay
विनय
Sampanne
संपन्ने
Brahmane
ब्राह्मणे
ब्राह्मणे
Gavihastini.
गविहस्तिनि
गविहस्तिनि
शुनि चैव
Vidya Vinay.
सम्पन्ने.
Let's do first 2 lines for now. Vidya
विद्या
Vinay
विनय
ब्राह्मणे
संपन्ने
Sampanne
ब्राह्मणे
ब्राह्मणे
Brahmane
गविहस्तिनि
गविहस्तिनि.
Gavihastini. Vidya Vinay
विद्याविनय
संपन्ने
सम्पन्ने
ब्राह्मणे
ब्रह्मणे
गविहस्तिनि
गविहस्तिनि
Vidya Vinay
सं-
Sampanne Brahmane Gvihastini.
विद्याविनय
विद्याविनय
संपन्ने
सम्पन्ने
ब्राह्मणे गविहस्तिनि
Okay, next two lines. Shuni Chaivashvapake cha. Shuni Chaivashvapake
स्वपाके
cha.
च
Panditah Samadarshinaha.
पंडितः
Panditah
समदर्शिनः
Panditah
कः
Samadarshinaha.
समदर्शिनः
Panditah
पंडितः
Samadarshinaha.
समदर्शिनः
Together. Shuni Chaivashvapake cha. Panditah Samadarshina.
शुनि
Shuni
चैव
Chaivashvapake
स्वपाके च
cha.
पंडितः
Panditah
समदर्शिनः
Samadarshina. Everybody together. Shuni Chaivashvapake
के
cha.
च पंडितः
Panditah
समदर्शिनः
Samadarshina. Okay, please remember on your own, memorize in your own time. Please write it, put it on your mirror, in your bathroom, on your desk, on your windshield. I don't recommend that, but if you can, then yeah. But let's read this. Can somebody read this whole verse?
I can try, Mataji.
Yes, Madhya.
The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. Purport: a Krishna-conscious person does not make any distinction between species or caste. The Brahmana and the outcast may be different from social point of view, or a dog, a cow, and an elephant may be different from a point of view of species, but these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme, for the Supreme Lord, by his plenary portion as Paramatma, is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is a real knowledge. As far as bodies are concerned in different castes or different species of life, the Lord is equally kind to everyone because he treats every living being as a friend and yet maintain himself as Paramatma, regardless of circumstances of the living entities. The Lord as Paramatma is present both in the outcast and in the Brahmana. Although the body of a Brahmana and that of an outcast are not the same, the bodies are material production of different modes of material nature. But the soul and supersoul within the body are of same spiritual quality. The similarity in the quality of the soul and the supersoul, however, does not make them equal in quantity. For the individual soul is present only in that particular body, whereas the Paramatma is present in each and every body. A Krishna conscious person has full knowledge of this, and therefore he is a truly learned and has equal vision. The similar characteristics of the soul and supersoul are that they are both conscious, eternal, and blissful. But the difference is that individual soul is conscious within the limited jurisdiction of the body, whereas the supersoul is conscious of all bodies. The supersoul is present in all bodies without distinction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so I think this is a very important verse. So Krishna is now telling us about the spiritual vision or samdarshi, equal vision that such a learned person has. Okay, so this person who is working with renunciation, he's yog yukt, he's acquiring knowledge simultaneously, he's getting gradually purified, right? He's getting free from sinful reactions, free from any negative or positive reactions. He's coming to the liberated platform. So, such a person, as he keeps progressing, he keeps getting elevated, he will acquire this type of spiritual vision or equal vision, okay, which shows how advanced he is in self realization. He understands that he is the soul, and every jiva, whichever body they are in, they are also souls. They are also part and parcel of Krishna. They are equally. Um, loved by Krishna. Krishna loves them equally, and Krishna is present as Paramatma in each and every body along with the soul. So he can see that. He can understand the true position of every jiva, no matter whatever body they are, whether they are in the body of a Brahman, who are very esteemed people according to the social order, or they may be cow, which is a very dear, very useful animal, very dear to Krishna, or an elephant, right, which is a different type of animal, or a dog, or even a dog eater, somebody that is so fallen according to the social norm, social standards, maybe very fallen in current body. Their activities may be very sinful, but they are also just trapped in this body, just like we are, and they are acting according to the being in bodily conception. They are acting according to the swabhav given to that body. Okay, so but Paramatma is still present. Paramatma does not differentiate. Paramatma is present in the body of a dog eater, a cow, a elephant, any species, a worm, a cockroach, an ant, a demigod. Equally, Paramatma is present within each and every, alongside the soul, alongside the jiva. Yet they are different. So Prabhupada is saying, yet they are different. But Paramatma cares about all his jivas, all the spirit souls equally. He equally loves them all. He makes no distinctions, whichever body you go to. Like if I go to, next time, if I go to body of a mouse, Paramatma will accompany me in that body also. So, Pandit person sees that, okay? He understands that the difference is only in the body, and current activities of the body are based on the swabhav, based on the three modes of material nature, and because this person is acting according to the bodily conception. So this is Vidya Vinay Sampanna. Vinay, Prabhupada is also calling gentle person, right? So that's why Prabhupada used to call that devotees are perfect gentlemen and gentle ladies. There is no question of hurting anyone, harming anyone. Even involuntary, like we don't want to hurt or harm anyone. They're well wishers to all. They're truly friends to all. What to say, exploiting someone for your personal benefit, that's not even a consideration for a devotee. They're very gentle men, gentle ladies. They are very sober minded, very grounded people who cannot conceive hurting anyone, not even, what to speak of all these tragedies that have happened in our history, like from slavery or Holocaust or so many things, right? Female um, suffering, all these things that have happened just based on bodily distinctions, or in the current environment, we see animals are being tortured or exploited. So there is no way a devotee, a Pandit person, a Brahman who's Vidya Vinay Sampanni, who knows the true knowledge, who understands heart of Krishna, who understands this wisdom, can ever exploit or harm anyone. Then the next point that comes is that having understood this, right, that we have to become gentlemen, gentle ladies, we may, externally be gentlemen. We may be dressed in nice suit and dress and suited, booted, and hair is very nice. And there is such a culture of taking care of your nails and hair in especially in US. Such a big industry of salons is there, but that does not make you a gentle lady or a gentleman. It is what it is your wisdom, it is your internals, it is how you see everything in service of Krishna, how you see everything in relationship with Krishna, how you perceive that everybody has a relationship with Krishna, and try to engage them in service of Krishna, try to serve them or engage them in service of Krishna. That's your only duty as a pandit, as a devotee. And then the next aspect of this verse is that even though this person understands the spiritual position of every jiva, okay, the current position of a spirit soul being trapped in the body, helplessly trapped in this body, they understand these things, and they see everything in relationship to Krishna. They do not see anything separate from Krishna, okay? But still, externally, they do have to respect the differences of the body. For example, a sannyasi will not freely meet up or mingle with a female, with the opposite gender, right? For example, as a female, I will not, I will be careful of my dealings with men. So it's not that it's so the practically our external dealings on a practical level will be respectful of the bodily differences that we have, okay, because we are trapped in this body, so we have to respect those bodily differences, those social norms or cultural differences that come with the body. We have to respect those tendencies that a body has been given, and try to maintain those boundaries and respect those differences on on practical level, on external level. But internally we do not differentiate, we do not hold grudges just because somebody is not of our country, or somebody is black and not brown like us, or somebody is white, and inherently um, try to uh, cast allegations upon a whole other gender, or a whole other caste, or a whole other creed of people, or a whole other nationality of people, or just because they're different, just because they're in a different body, or different country, or different gender, or a different even different religion right now in this body temporarily for the journey of through this body. That soul is journeying through a different country, through a different caste, through a different color, through a different creed of body. A Pandit person will not be internally distinct, cast distinctions or differentiate, and actually see them in relationship to Krishna. And that is the mood of Prabhupada. If you see Prabhupada, he was able to make all these white bodied people, black body, whatever religion they were, whatever gender they are, whatever caste or color or nationality they are, he was able to convert, or he was able to bring them all to this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, because he saw everything and everybody in relationship to Krishna, not separate from them. So yes, we respect the social ranking or the distinctions of gender outwardly. We maintain that, but internally, what is your mindset? Are you, you know, very, very hateful internally, or constantly distinguishing, constantly casting allegations, constantly in a separatist mentality, like Dhritarashtra was, right? Mamaka Pandavascheva, he said in first verse, constantly separating people. So are you separating people based on those bodily distinctions, or your mindset is to unite everybody based on the fact that they're all part and parcels of Krishna? But just outside, your external dealings can be gently in a practically can be somewhat different. Like for example, I'm not going to go and embrace a snake or a lion. I'm not going to say, oh, there is Paramatma within him, or he's a spirit soul, so I'm going to run towards lion. If a lion comes, I'm going to run away from him. So I have to understand that the nature of lion is to try to kill me. In this body, his swabhav is to see a human and chase after them and eat them. So I'm going to run away from him. So in this way, you maintain that distance, you maintain those boundaries practically, but your vision of that person, that spiritual vision, is very, very wide. It's like a airplane who is above, sees all the tall buildings, and he sees that these are all actually the same things, and not getting overwhelmed by those bodily differences. But most people allow those bodily differences to create a lot of hatred, hostility, separatist behavior, distinctions, and that's not the vision of a devotee or a pandit person. So that's few of the points from this verse. Anybody has anything to share? Questions, realizations? Otherwise, we'll stop. Please memorize this verse. Anybody
Mataji,
want?
can I try to attempt the verse?
Yes, Mataji, give me, I'll stop the recording for that. Just give me a few minutes. Let's see if anybody has any questions or realizations also.
Mataji, Namaste
Yes,
Mataji.
yes,
This is
Prabhu.
Ram. Yeah, Samadarsanaha, in work-wise, we have different levels of people and different mentality. To identify, giving the task, we cannot do Samadarsana. And based on the mentality, how do you manage Samadarsana?
Hmm. Yes, very, very important question, Prabhu. So very important. In our practical dealings in on professional level, or many other places also, not just profession, but in community, society, family, various places will come across this. It's hard to maintain some darshan attitude, because people have different tendencies, different temperament, different skills, different perspectives, right, from where they come from. So, speaking from professional standpoint, Prabhu, so understand that there is something called our Lokik Dharma. Lokik Dharma means which is not our eternal dharma, which is our duty in this world. So you have been assigned a certain duty, certain professional duty in this world. You have been given a certain responsibility or a role as a professional. Like I'm a doctor, so I'm in charge of, let's say, some nurses or some people under me, right? They have to report to me. I am responsible for what they do or what they don't do. So if so, you have to do your Lokik Dharma very properly, understanding that you're a representative of Krishna. It's your duty. Sometimes in the course of that duty, you may have to do things that are not very priya or they are very apriya, meaning they are not very tasteful. They may come across as harsh. For example, you may have to fire somebody because they are not fulfilling their job, doing their job properly. In my line of work, if somebody is not doing their job properly, that could mean somebody's life. That could cost somebody's life. Is that right or no? If somebody is neglecting
I'm
their
doing fine.
duty, if a nurse, tell them to do a very critical test on a patient and she does not do it, she sends that patient home, that could cost that person their life. I tell them to admit them, and that let's say they just decide to be independent and I'm not going to listen to the doctor who knows more than me and I'm just going to send the patient home, and patient is critically ill, that patient could die. So, in this way, if somebody is not fulfilling their duty and you have detected that being in the leadership role, um, then you may need to address that. So, you will have to use your God-given intelligence, your discrimination, your skill set, your training. All that has also been given by Krishna only. Your training, your skill set that you acquired, right? How to address this, how much to address this, in what setting, how much to respond, right? So it has, you have to test that. You have to decide how to deal with different people. Some people, um, again, it's okay to have different mindset, different skill set, and you can use that. So you will have to be open-minded to use that skill set also. Not everybody is going to have just exactly same perspective, same mindset as you. So you can use that mindset. Maybe that will help in the growth of your company, your corporation. So you will use that because it is in service. Ultimately, we want this for service of Krishna. So you will use that skill set, mindset. Somebody is exceptionally trained or has some talent that you can use in service of Krishna, then you will employ it. But somebody is causing harm, then you may have to address it also. And like Radhanand Maharaj says, if somebody makes a mistake, don't kill a mosquito with atom bomb. So if it is a small mistake, you may have to address it on a very personal one-on-one level and not come at them with an atom bomb. Don't destroy the whole company because of trying to, you know, uh, uh, discipline one person. So you have to use your discrimination. So Samdarshi is a very internal mood where we do not unnecessarily have hostile behavior or um, towards people that are just different from us, right? Just because they speak a different language or look different or are in a different body, have been brought up differently, they have different upbringing, so different experiences. Don't have this hostility towards them. Understand that they were put in a different body according to their karma, and they're all part and parcel of Krishna. They can all be used in service of Krishna. And what is their best utility in service of Krishna? Is that somewhat?
Yes, Mataji. But yeah, yes. It is a confusion whether I'm taking the correct decision or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. I will try. Without Bhagavad Gita, it is like my knowledge and my politics, both. And now, if it is with Bhagavad Gita, yeah, a lot of things I need to take care of.
Mm.
I will try to understand.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
And another Samadarsana means not working, not only working people and different knowledge people and different giving the respect, not only respect, mm, how to see the people.
Mm. Like you
And
talk about other people that are on other paths, like spiritual.
other not, for example, we have different people, and we cannot see all of them in same pattern, like how the assigning the work, how you are giving the task to them, how we are asking the task or results for them from them.
Ah, yes,
So
that's what I was saying before, that you just have appropriate dealings based on what is their contribution, what is their temperament, how can they be used in service, how to channel them, their resources, their how to channel them, and they're also people, so how to have um, proper connections with them through friendships, how much friendship to have with somebody, all those things you will. Those are practical aspects of this, which a little bit of trial and error may be needed. Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and as devotees, we just slowly you will get tuned in to what people are just overtly harmful to your consciousness, so you maintain distance. What people are very favorable, so you make friendships with them, you have loving relationships with them, okay? And some people that you can that are neither very favorable nor very unfavorable, but you can give them your association, and slowly they may come to spiritual consciousness also. So slowly they can become servants of Krishna also. So in this way, as we progress, we get this understanding, this intelligence on how much to associate with different types of people. Some people are very have a very positive association. I think you were asking similar question last time also. Some people are very tamasic and very negative association, so we try to avoid them. Some people are in the middle; they are fluctuating constantly, so we try to give them our association as long as it does not harm us, right? So in a very, so you test the waters with different people. Sometimes you will get hurt while dealing with different people, their negative behavior or exploitative behavior. They may you're in spiritual consciousness, they are not in touch with this knowledge, so they may be exploitative of you, and so you will understand that where to have the boundaries or where to maintain the distance. So that knowledge, that intelligence will come. So just keep sincerely, that's why I was saying, keep sincerely fixed, seriously fixed on this Krishna conscious diet through the day, so that when those difficult dealings come, you know what to do. Otherwise, we're at loss and we don't know what to do, because we just, um, use our impulses, like we react and don't respond. So proper response comes when we are in spiritual consciousness. A very humble, sober, grounded response will come. Thoughtful response with people, if you are in this consciousness, spiritual consciousness. Otherwise, you just react, get provoked very easily, and just say things that are harmful to both you and others. So just stay, I think, connected to this knowledge, to the daily diet of spiritual activities.
yes, ma'am. I have another question, Mataji, but we have less time. But knowledge, how do you measure here? I have material knowledge related to my work, and what is the reference of jnana here? Whether understanding the Bhagavad Gita and Puranas, or what is the Janaka Maharaj knowledge? Just I would like to. It's a very big
I
question.
don't know what Janak Maharaj's knowledge
Yeah.
is. I can tell you what.
But always jnana means Janaka Maharaj. He
Yeah.
has jnana as well as working culture,
Mhm.
both,
Okay.
other than any king.
Okay. I'll just
So,
give you some
I,
basic thoughts on this.
yeah. but yeah, but I don't know whether it is a proper question. But always jnana means I'm confusion.
Okay.
Material
Le- uh,
knowledge.
I got your question, bro. Let me just, it's a very interesting question. I'll just tell you in a few lines, and then maybe next time we can discuss more. So, first of all, jnana or vidya, when Krishna says vidya vinay sampanna, or when Krishna says agyan and agyan, Gyan refers to spiritual knowledge. Gyan refers to transcendental knowledge or divya gyan, wisdom. Okay. It does not refer to material sciences. It does not refer to, let's say, medical science, rocket science, law of thermodynamics, or all these various physical sciences. It refers to our metaphysical. aspect, right? Our spiritual knowledge. That is called Vidya. In all Vedic literatures, that is called Vidya. Typically, the material sciences or knowledge just of the body, separate from Krishna, just of this world, knowledge of just this world and body, creates a lot of false ego or bodily conception or pride in people. It actually takes people away from the real gyan. Okay. So, material knowledge or a gyan is only helpful if it is used in service of gyan. Okay, if it is used in service of the real vidya, the real knowledge. So, first of all, that is the term gyan or vidya means when Krishna talks about it in Bhagavad Gita or anywhere in Vedas. Um, the measure of gyan or the real spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, is unlimited. We have been given some knowledge which is revealed through these scriptures. That is why these scriptures are called revealed scriptures. Scriptures means some portion is revealed to us, has been made. Has been and given to us, elucidated to us for our enlightenment. Okay. But otherwise, this wisdom is unlimited. It's considered like a spiral knowledge. So material knowledge or knowledge of the sciences in this world is like a it plateaus in the beginning. In the beginning, there is a very steep increase in knowledge. Then sorry, not plateaus. It goes up and then it plateaus, right? Like for example, I may have learned very minimal things over last 5 years, but when I came into medical school, I learned a lot. Suddenly, I learned a lot, and then for many years, it was just very slow increase, and then it plateaued off quite a bit. So material knowledge is limited. It's possible to learn it all, okay? But spiritual knowledge is like a spiral. You keep going, you start from the surface of the ocean. It's like an ocean, unlimited. You keep going deep and deep and deep. And the deeper you get, the more pearls you get, the more it reveals. And as you keep reading it over and over again, it keeps revealing more things over and over again. Every time you learn something new when you read Bhagavad Gita. So it's like spiral. It keeps getting denser and denser and denser as you. So it keeps increasing. The more sincere and serious you get, the more mercy you get, the more effort you make. So unlimited is what I can say, and these advanced devotees, their level of advancement. I don't know about we don't measure them by their love, by their knowledge, but more by their love. Krishna cares not about the knowledge so much, he cares about the love. Ultimately, this knowledge brings us to the love, becoming fixed up and getting to the platform of love. So some people may not have knowledge. Like I don't know how much knowledge, let's say, Shabri was acquiring. So it's not about reading, it's not about memorizing, it's not about reciting or narrating. It's not about that. The point of knowledge is to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, that we are his part and parcel, that we have to establish a relationship with him. So it is more about internals. So Krishna said, I know you don't understand Hindi, but one of the devotees said, Sheetal Mataji knows this famous line from Amog Leela Prabhu's class. He said, कि मैं दिल में आता हूँ, समझ में नहीं. Meaning, I can be understood by heart, not by the brain. So the knowledge here is this knowledge manifests in the heart. Material knowledge comes into the brain. Knowledge related to Krishna or spiritual world or this wisdom comes into the heart. That is why it is said, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. It is revealed in the heart. It blossoms in the heart of a devotee. It is not a matter of intelligence.
Thank
So
you.
it cannot be quantified. Okay, I think we'll stop here and then we'll recite this verse. Whoever wants to recite, thank you so much for joining. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्ण